As we near closer to the trade deadline, which is my personal favorite time of the season, let's dive into at least one player I think every MLB team should pick up at this year's deadline. Before we jump into today's video, 94.2% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. So if you're a part of that, please make sure to press that sub button. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. I'm going to add a little bit of a caveat to this video by only mentioning teams that I think could be buyers at the deadline, because I don't want to tell you that a team needs to trade for prospects, because that's pretty obvious, so I'll narrow it down to teams who will be trading for players to help them in a playoff push. Starting today's video off, let's start in the AL East with the top American League team, the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays don't have a lot of holes on their roster, but I think the team should add a good lefty to their rotation, because other than Shane McClanahan, they don't have any other definite lefties in their rotation, and I think it would benefit them a ton come playoff time if they add another lefty to go, so that's why I think the Rays should trade for Jordan Montgomery or Eduardo Rodriguez. I would lean more towards adding Montgomery because the health of Rodriguez is a little bit of a question as of now, but both would be good options as Montgomery has posted a 3.69 ERA in 85 innings for the Cardinals.
If Rodriguez is healthy, which he should be as he's nearing throwing live at bats, come the deadline he could also be traded as he's having a great season posting a 2.13 ERA in 68 innings. The next team I want to talk about is the Baltimore Orioles, who I'd also like to see trade for a left-handed pitcher as their current only lefty that makes appearances in their rotation is Cole Irvin, who has a 7.71 ERA. This is why both Jordan Montgomery or Eduardo Rodriguez could be huge for this team and could help transform their rotation and would extremely help come playoff time. Moving to the Yankees, I would love to see the Yankees add a lefty bat and maybe an outfielder to help them with the depth, and conveniently, someone who may fit both roles for the Yankees is Cody Bellinger. Bellinger is currently off to one of the better starts to a season as of late for him, posting a 1.7 OPS plus while still playing league average defense in center, so I think his addition could help the Yankees a lot. Bellinger could also open up days for players like Judge to go to the DH role and maybe take some wear and tear off of him and hope to help keep him on the field for longer. Moving to the next AL East team, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Blue Jays could use some bullpen help, that's why I have them picking up reliever Jose Cisnero from the Detroit Tigers. Cisnero is more of an under-radar reliever the past few seasons, but this season he has a 1.95 ERA plus through 29 innings, and I think the Blue Jays picking him up could help boost their bullpen even more.
The last AL East team I'll be talking about is the Boston Red Sox, and looking at their roster, I could see them hunting pitching this deadline, but I think a little infield depth could help them, and it was hard to find anyone that may be available at this deadline, so I have them actually picking up Nicky Lopez from the Kansas City Royals. Lopez isn't the best hitter, posting only a 77 OPS plus, but that is currently better than the Red Sox starting shortstop Enrique Hernandez, and Lopez is also a good fielder as well, and he can play every infield position besides first. Finally, moving out of the AL East, we can finally talk about the rest of the league, where we start with the Minnesota Twins. The Twins have had a pretty mediocre offense, and I wanted to say that they should bring in Jeimer Candelario and maybe send down Jose Miranda, but they do have a lot of bats and not enough places to put them with people on the bench like Eduardo Julian, Royce Lewis, and Kyle Farmer, so I decided that this team should move the bullpen route and look to pick up White Sox bullpen arm Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly does have a 4.37 ERA currently, but he still has a 1.02 ERA plus due to his 2.7 FIP, which means he is due for some positive regression, which is why Kelly could turn into a fantastic pickup by the Twins. Moving to the AL West, the first team to talk about is the Texas Rangers, who I would like to see bring in a new bullpen arm from the Royals and Aroldis Chapman. The Rangers currently have the 8th worst bullpen ERA in the MLB as of now, and I think adding one of the best lefty arms out of the bullpen could help improve this bullpen and prime the Rangers for their first playoff run in 7 years. Now moving to the defending champions, the Houston Astros. I would think making a trade for Jeimer Candelario would be a good trade for the Astros to make, as Candelario can play both third and first, and putting him at first base would be a massive improvement over the current first baseman Jose Abreu, who has a 63 OPS plus in comparison to Candelario, who has a 116 OPS plus. Staying in the AL West, I want to see the Los Angeles Angels invest in starting pitching after filling the gap Gio Urshela's injury left by picking up Eduardo Escobar, and that's why I think the Angels should go for a big name pitcher in Shane Bieber. Bieber is currently having his worst season in the bigs, but he's still posting a 3.69 ERA in 100 innings. Despite Bieber playing slightly worse than usual, he could help the Angels extremely and help this pitching staff gear for a huge playoff run, as this could be a huge year for the Angels. Moving to the National League, let's start off in the NL East with the Atlanta Braves. The Braves have one of the most explosive offenses, and that's why they need to invest in some more pitching to accompany that offense, and that's why I think they should trade for Jordan Montgomery or Eduardo Rodriguez. Without Max Fried, the Braves have no big lefty arm in their rotation, and that's why I think adding a big lefty could help the rotation take the next step and be way better in the playoffs. Moving to one of the more surprising teams of this season in the Miami Marlins, I think they should bring in Jeimer Candelario to fill in the third base spot, since Jean Segura has been one of the most disappointing signings from the past offseason, as he only has a 37 OPS+. I also think the next team in the Philadelphia Phillies should also try to bring in Jeimer Candelario, as he could play third or first depending on where they want to play Candelario alongside Alec Bohm. But no matter where they play him, bringing in Candelario would move Edmundo Sosa out of the everyday lineup. But I think the Phillies could use bullpen help as well, so I think they look to add Aroldis Chapman or Joe Kelly. Moving to the only NL Central team I'll be talking about in today's video, the Cincinnati Reds, who have been an electric ball club this year. And I want to see them bring in White Sox starting pitcher Lucas Giolito. Giolito could help with this young and injury-riddled rotation and help them have more depth come playoff time. Giolito is also having a good season, as he posted a 3.41 ERA so far. Moving to the final division of today's video, let's start with the NL West leaders, the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are having an amazing season so far and have a pretty complete roster as of now. That's why I think they could go either route in finding another bat or adding another pitcher. That's why I have two people they could trade for in Marcus Stroman or Cody Bellinger. Bringing in Bellinger could help replace one of the very mediocre outfielders in Alec Thomas or Jake McCarthy. Moving to Marcus Stroman, if they were to bring him in, that would move someone like Zach Davies out of the rotation, since he does have above a 7 ERA, and that's why I lean more to the Diamondbacks bringing in Stroman so that they can round out the pitching staff some more. Moving to a team that's been hot as of late and find themselves second in the NL West in the San Francisco Giants. A few pitchers I'd like to see the Giants add are once again Eduardo Rodriguez or Jordan Montgomery to get a better lefty in their rotation, as they currently have Alex Wood and Sean Manaea, who both have below 85 ERA pluses. Now on to the final team of today's video, and one of the most interesting teams headed into this year's deadline is the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers could use some infield help this deadline, as their shortstop Miguel Rojas has a 51 OPS+, and that's why I could see them picking up someone like Nicky Lopez, but at the same time, their starting rotation is very injury riddled, and as of now, that's why I wouldn't mind seeing one more starter come in, such as Lucas Giolito, Shane Bieber, or Marcus Stroman. But at the same time as that, their bullpen has the third worst ERA so far this season, which is why I believe they should bring back reliever Joe Kelly from the Chicago White Sox and reunite him with his former team. That's all I have to say about these teams going into this year's deadline. So with that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.